Welcome to the land where we dispel superstition, where critical thinking prevails. Welcome to where we dispel superstitions and false beliefs. Welcome to Humanist TV Africa. Stay with Obasi Ikechukwu in today's edition. Welcome. Good morning from Nigeria. Good day wherever you are watching from, wherever you are domiciled and watching from. Welcome once again to today's edition on Humanist TV Africa, where we shall be bringing to you back to back what is making the headlines today, being Sunday. All right, we shall be reviewing what is making the headlines today. One of my friends who say, be careful because the days are evil. The days are both evil and good. So welcome to Humanist TV Africa on today's newspaper report and review with myself, Obasi Ikechukwu. All right, let's go to the business of the day, where we shall be bringing to you the headlines. All right, let's have this one. Nigerian human rights community asks Tinubu, Attorney General, to drop all charges against Sowore and political persecution. This is coming from Sarah Reporters. Sowore is an activist. He's a revolutionary, a modern revolutionary. He has been going through a lot in the hands of Nigerian government. So an activist group is now calling for his release, for all the charges against him to be dropped by the government. So the viewers, let us know what you think about this call by this human rights community. All right, let's have this other one here. Which says, don't feed sleeping baby to prevent aspiration death. This is coming from pediatricians. Pediatricians are doctors in charge of children doctor. So they have come to advise they have advised and said, don't feed sleeping baby to prevent aspiration death. This report is coming from Punch News. All right, let's go to this one. Let us have this one from Punch News again. Suspected cultist kidnapped. Gang rape 14-year-old girl in Rivers. Suspected cultists kidnapped. Gang rape 14-year-old girl in Rivers. I don't know why our society is breeding rapists. Why our society is breeding psychopaths. People that don't have respect for the dignity of human person. People that don't have self-esteem. What is it about raping? Are you guys identical twins with raping? We keep hearing if it is not a child defilement, it will be rape. What is this about this this psychopathy in our various society, especially in Nigeria? You know, the previous day it was Gombe, and now it is Rivers State. What a mess! All right, let's have this one. Let's have this one. This one coming from the, coming from Italy, from Rome. Rome has you know turn on television for the people. Rome has come up with a new controversy. You know, Africans always have a way of being so concerned, doing busybody about people's private life, about people's sexual orientation. So, the the new update from Pope Francis has given most of Africans, especially Nigerians, breakfast. So let's have this news from this news report from Punch News. Nigerians divided as bishops kick against blessing same-sex marriage. As we all know, Pope Francis came up with the news, came up with this endorsement of same-sex marriage blessing. He now he allows the Catholic Church, the church, to bless gay couple. So this has generated a lot of uproar in Africa. I've been expecting to know what Uganda will do about this. So I've been expecting the reaction of Ugandan Catholic Church, given that the Ugandan government, prescribed the death penalty for gay. So I've been waiting to hear their reaction. This reaction is from Nigeria. Most of the Nigerians are divided. You understand? Some persons and some, some priests, some Catholic priests in Nigeria came up with some hypocritical analysis. You just have to call a spade and stop trying to play smart man. It has been approved because the church quite understand. In Africa we are more Catholic than the Pope. The church quite understand that there is a need to allow people right to personal liberty, right to privacy, right to reproductive right, and right to exercise your sexual orientation, right to choice. So they never leave you. They don't leave you now. you can divide among yourself for all I care, but it has come to stay. If you don't like it, you leave the church. All right, let us go moving away from this. Let's have this update. This one coming from this an entertainment news anyway. This is one of my best movie star. This is one of the actors that stayed, one of the best actors that stayed in Fast and Furious. I love Vin Diesel. I love Vin Diesel. But this report coming up against him is not quite okay. It's preposterous. Yes, it's preposterous if he actually committed this heinous crime. I detest sexual crimes, given that you can actually, as an adult, you can actually walk up to a lady, try to woo her. If she's not working, if she's not agreeing to your terms and conditions, you can actually, buy it by cash. Yes, that is why there are commercial sex workers out there. You don't commit criminality because because you want to have sex or whatever. I don't know what is fundamentally wrong with our brains. I don't know. You don't getting humping is that cheap that if you want to get it, in a clean way, you can actually do that. If you want to get it in a lawful way, there are so many means. Though our society tend to be hypocritical about allowing sex works and all or whatever. But there are certain things you don't control. Just certain things you don't control. Just like issue of gay, how people express their sexuality. These are practices you cannot control because they follow person they enter his or her bedroom. Also, you cannot tell people not to, sex work. You can't tell people not to do that. And you cannot tell people not to patronize them. It's even better for you to patronize sex workers than for you to, assault people sexually, or for you to rape, or for you to defile unsuspecting, innocent minors. So that is it for that. Let's have this report. Let's have this report. All right. Again from Punch News. No Christmas chicken, residents lament. Sorry, no Christmas chicken, residents lament high prices in Ibadan. This is coming from Punch News. No. I need to invite Comrade Kato to this to this show to help me and see what low mentality has caused Africans. Of all the troubles in Africa, the only thing the Ibadan people of Nigeria are lamenting about is high price, and high price is making them not to buy chicken for Christmas. What a mess! This is laughable. This is laughably preposterous. The only thing that that forms your major priority is that there is no money for Christmas chicken. This is so serious. This is so serious. I tire for we Africans. You're not even saying that due to a recession in the country, you may not be able to pay your children's school fees. Due to recession in the country, people don't eat good food. There's no good water. Your only concern is that there is no Christmas chicken because of high prices in Ibadan. One thing about the white is that they create a fiction. They create a fiction and make people begin to see fiction as reality. That is one thing about the Caucasians. Let me know. Well, I choose to use their own words. The popular words being used often is that they are white. But nobody is white. Nobody is white. If you are white, it means you are suffering. If you see anybody that is white, it means the person is suffering from one disease or the other. We have Caucasians. We have blacks. We have brown. So the Europeans, we create fictions. We create fictions out of nothing and make Africans to believe that. That is why we don't reason. That is why most of us don't reason. You see some. Don't be surprised that one of those lamenting, one of the people lamenting no Christmas chicken. Don't be surprised. Most of them are professors. Don't be surprised. That is why the system is just the way it is. And when you look at this festival called Christmas, it's a fiction. It's a fiction invented by the Romans. It's a fiction. It's a pagan worship of the Romans. Concocted it with a fictional birth of a Christ, and people have now bought it, especially the Africans. The Africans now swallowed everything hook, line, and sinker without asking questions. How I wish Comrade Kato Mukasa, senior colleague, was here to, give you more update. But I think you should always come to Humanist TV because there are a lot of updates on Christmas, on how fictitious Christmas is on this Humanist TV Africa. All right, let's leave their Christmas for them and take another update. Let's take this one. This one. Oh, child theft. Abia government tax parents on vigilance, releases contact lights. Exactly, the rate of criminality and crime against children is now, increasing. Is it that it is child theft? It is that it is child defilement? Is it that it's child labor? But one thing that baffles me about Africa is that they don't even treat children well. Most of we Africans don't treat children well, but we are the first set of people, first continent that is eager to breed children to come and suffer. You see a poor man in Africa who can barely feed two times a day, having 15 children in Africa. If a person, they even went to the extent of criminalizing, people having reproductive rights in Africa. But we don't even value these children. The only thing we value is bringing them into the world. That's preposterous. I keep telling people that reproduction should be qualitative, not quantitative. I keep saying it. Reproduction should be qualitative, not quantitative. You don't bring children. It doesn't depend on numbers. It depends on the quality of education you give to children. You may have 2 children and give them the best, and you'll be happier than a man that has 100 children. We need to change our mentality. Parents, you have to. Yes, if you know you want to be a parent, you don't have to push yourself too hard. You want to please the society. You want to be a father. If you know you don't want to be, you are not yet ready to be a parent, don't go into childbearing. Control yourself. Family planning is there. You have your silent reproductive rights. I don't care what people feel about it, but I am not a support of this hypocritical morality that we have in our society. I'm not in support of that. I'm in support of a person, an adult, deciding his fate. Know when you want to give birth. If eventuality happens and you are not ready, do something about that. Don't go trying to please the society. The society will go leave you when the days become tough. I know that tough time don't last, but tough people do last. But you have to be tough for certain things that are worth it. Be tough in calling corrupt leaders to order, in calling them out, calling them to order. You understand? Be tough in that aspect, not being tough in, churning out battalions in the name of children and let them suffer. All right. Let's go to this one. Let's have this update. Let's have this one from Daily Post. Angola gives reasons for quitting OPEC. This is coming from Daily Post. Angola give reason for quitting OPEC. Yes, and the reason is not far-fetched. I've discovered that most of these international organizations we have in Africa is just a puppet to the white man. It's not just a nomenclatural organizations, international organizations. They are not there to do anything. OPEC, I know, is one of the most useless bodies, useless organizations. I must have to say that. You can call me out on a debate. I'm ready to defend my claims. Most of these international organizations are just there to frontier, Caucasian supremacy, European supremacy. I keep saying it, unless on TV, unless you bring about equity in United Nations organization, I will often agree with Fela that you guys are a bunch of modern enslavers, modern slave masters. No, there's this thing about rebranding. When people begin to see your gimmicks, when people begins to see your corrupt gimmicks, you want to rebrand. You want to rebrand. I don't know what is the difference between what you are doing to Africans now and what you did in the past. I don't know the difference. If anybody knows the difference, he should, alert Humanist TV. Let's know the difference between what you did in the 18th, 19th centuries and what you are doing right now. The only difference is rebranding. The difference is rebranding. Those days you were quite direct in your domination, in your colonialism. Now you have used some of our puppets. Now you are using some of our puppets that we call political leaders to frontier your colonialism, your imperialism. You are using political puppets, and you're also using religious puppets. Because most of our political leaders are not even free. They are not free from your domination. Most of our religious leaders are not free. Look at a man in Rome dictating for you how to live your life. He's dictating. They dictate. The order by one man in Italy, there in Rome, is now causing controversy everywhere in Africa. This is to show that religiously wise, we are still under colonialism. Politically wise, we are still under. In fact, the religious colonialism is still direct. It's direct religious colonialism. It is only in politics that we have indirect colonialism, because the holy books you are writing, you are reading, or whatever, is written by foreigners. Yes, it's written by foreigners. It's a foreign written book. Even some of the authors of purported authors of the books, of some of the episodes and whatever, they are not from Africa. They are foreigners. So that is why Angola, what you just did is not far-fetched. It is not a new thing. It's not anything that we are still being enslaved in our land. We have been made slaves even in our land. A foreigner come to your land and enslaved you politically, religiously, intellectually, and ideologically. When I was a student, they will tell us that philosophy started from Greece. That is the shenanigan they teach people out there in the various universities. They will tell them that the philosophy started from Greece. It was upon a personal research that I find out that philosophy started in ancient Kemet. You see the point? Even ideologically and intellectually, we are slaves. Do you know that doctors in Africa swear oath of Hippocrates? Hippocrates is regarded as the first physician against the actual fact that the first physician is Imhotep of ancient Kemet. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Angola is leaving OPEC for whatever reason. I'm not surprised. More Africa, but the problem is that there is always this vicious cycle. Maybe an awakened or a woke person, an enlightened person joins politics and get things right. Due to the fact that politics is transitional, another imbecile will still take over and destroy what you have built for years. So unless we begin to act, unless we begin to have a general enlightenment, there's still gonna be a problem, because it's not how Mr. A thinks that the person that will eventually take over from him or her will think. And sometimes, if you leave power for an imbecile, an ideological, an intellectual imbecile, he or she will still mess things up. All right, moving away from this, report, let's see what Hype has to tell us. All right, I fail to understand why you need to ask for the mercy and grace of the God who created you without your knowledge and in his image. Hype, Ebudu. This report is coming from Humanist TV. Yes, and I quite agree with Barrister Hype. I quite agree with Barrister Hype. Some of these concussions, some of these statements that they bring to the society in the name of religion, quite not add up. You created me without my consent, which is an abuse in the highest order. Whatever you do, in fact, it is rape, it is assault to my person. You allegedly created me without my consent, and you still want me to come and ask you for mercy. For what? Why should I? You should be with the one. You should be the one that should ask me, to beg me and tell me don't be offended, because what we are going through, what we are going through, we are haunted by superstition. Some of the purported created fellows are haunted, terrorism everywhere, banditry, recession, corruption, kidnap, terrorism everywhere. We are not even happy with being created. Assuming you seek our consent before creating us, we would have, asked you for the template. If actually, these are concocted claims. These are concocted claims. And we often, react to that in a satirical way. Yes, we actually react to that with satire. So let's play the game of satire, because you brought it up. So if actually you ask our consent before bringing us out as it is in alleged you created us, we can ask you for the template. What is the template for coming into this world? If I see terrorism, if I see that the African man will be so religiously blinded, that he or she cannot embrace critical thinking, I will tell you, I don't want to come to Africa. Yes, I will refuse. Or if you will tell me that in fact, some of these things don't quite add up. That is why I know Mr. Hype brought this thing up as a satire, because it doesn't make sense to me. You created me without my consent, and you want me to still ask you for mercy. You still want me to pray to you. No. And I'm already in your image. That is what I tell some Nigerians, some Africans that are not wise enough. Some of the things written in the scripture tilts towards deism. You understand? If people can actually even reason in the line of reason critically in the line of what is being written there, it is written that you were created in the image of God, and since you are created by the same person, you don't even need to give a special allegiance to a person that calls himself a bishop or pastor or pope, because all of you, in fact, you are the same people. You are created by the same person, so nobody is special than the other. So, but the problem is that our people tend to approbate and reprobate at the same time. You tell me I'm created by God, and you still want me to go and submit to a bishop to dictate for me, to dictate for me what I want to do. What are you gonna dictate for me? It's the same person that created us, according to your claims. So there's nothing you are coming to dictate for me. There's nothing that makes you special. So that is one thing our people don't even understand. You can actually use logic to dispel some of these banditry. There's some of these pulpit banditry going on in Nigeria, going on in Africa. Why that of Nigeria is so huge is because Nigeria is so populated. It's the most populated black continent. It's the most populated in black continent. If I'm not mistaken, yes, Nigeria is the most populated. In fact, there are some countries in Africa. Let me know, Bruce, that if you pack them about 4, they have not quite reached the population of Nigeria. So anything you see people complain of or do in Nigeria, it is always more pathetic because Nigeria has higher population. So you don't use some of these concussions to spew conundrum. When you come and tell me that I'm created in God's image and I don't need to worship anybody that did not. It's even the person that created me that should worship me, because I am the person that that gave the person validity. Like Bill Gates and some of these inventors would have been nothing if not because of what they invented. So they are even the persons that boast that they invented this. So God should come and boast that He created me. Oh yes, because I am serving good purpose. All right, let's move away from because if I begin to analyze, if I begin to give my take on what Mr. Hype said, we won't leave this show today. So let's move away from this and go on a short break. When we return, we shall continue from where we stopped. Let's go on a short break and we shall be right back on Humanist TV Africa.
Stay with me as I recite the poem titled Agent of the Dark. Now listen. They say I am agent of dark because I worship no skylark. They say I committed heresy because I appeal to no imperial fallacy. They say my divergent views a blasphemy. My delusional kingsmen claim they are Jews, wishing I die in their relative iniquity. They say I'm rebellious for disbelieving the hilarious. They say their skyfather is love, expressing it through flood. But they say my preaching love for humanity is all vanity. They say demons can only be dark, and their angels and gods are white, that dwell in the world apart, flowing in honey and wines. As if there is no honey, no jolly here but the folly of the serpent. They say the imperial almighty savage only those who repent and become men to slaves, who enjoys only after their grave, whose salvation comes from fear of the imperial godfathers that is dear. I can run, but I can't fly, except in the flights. But we cannot exist beyond our death. We only see beyond our deathbed. I am a proud agent of the dark. I live in the dark soil. Mental slavery cannot set me and my beloved Africa apart. Kemet is civilization. Akebulian is bravery. I am Obasi Ikechukwu. See you in the next edition of Poetry Reciter.
All right, welcome back to Humanist TV Africa. I'm still your one and only Obasi Ikechukwu, bringing to you today's edition of Newspaper Report and Review. All right, let's go back to where we start. Reps vows to protect children against cyberbullying. This is coming from Punch News. Reps vow to protect children against the cyberbullying. But my problem with this report is that you cannot stop all cyberbullying. Because when you go to social media and threaten children in the name of preaching that they will rot in hell if they don't accept Christ, it's also a form of cyberbullying, because cyberbullying has to do with promoting contents that are violent in nature, that promotes terror, that promotes violence. That is bullying. And when the bullying comes into the internet, it becomes cyberbullying. So anything that promotes violence, anything that promotes war, genocide, tension on the internet is part of the cyberbullying. But I know you have a double standard about this, your cyberbullying. So cyberbullying narrative. In fact, it is even in that book that in some of these holy books that you have a lot of bullying, a lot of things that are violent in nature. Do you know how many genocides that have been validated? Moabites, Amorites, Philistines, all the time, purported divine validated wars going on. And you are reading out to these children using the internet. And you call it a moral instruction. Even in the various schools, you call it moral instructions. Moral instructions include teaching children that God destroyed the world. That is moral instruction. Destruction of the world through flood is moral instruction. That is not moral instruction. That is bullying. That is propagation of mental bullying. But nobody will talk about that. In days to come, we shall be challenging some of these things. You know, some of the verses quite contradict the law. Take, for instance, in our criminal justice system, in our criminal law, slavery is a crime. Slavery is a crime. Forced labor is a violation of fundamental human rights, except when you are subjected to National Youth Service Corps. But slavery is outlawed in Nigeria, in the Nigerian criminal law. But somewhere in your book of morality, slavery is being validated. It's stated there that slaves should obey their earthly masters. Slaves, using the tough word slave, validation of slavery. So, if you want to stop cyberbullying, you have to do it generally. Stop them from teaching children those things. Teaching them certain things that will promote in their mind tension. Teaching them that they will burn in hellfire. Who does that? All right, let's move away from that. Let's move away from that. Let's move away from that and have this one. All right. My traumatic encounter with a rapist, I thought, was Destiny Helper, Ikechukwu Anaso. This is coming from Vanguard News. This Nigerian actress recounts her encounter with a rapist she felt was her Destiny Helper. You know, that is what a lot of people do. They try to, take advantage of you whenever you are disadvantaged. They take advantage of you. They say they want to help you. But you don't know, especially here in Africa where we have, when I say people, what will I call them? People that are suffering from hypersexuality. We have a lot of them in Africa. Just that we don't care about our mental health in Africa. We don't dictate some of these things. There's a lot of persons that are either pedophiles or are suffering from addiction, sex addiction. And such people, when you meet them for favor, they try to take advantage of you sexually. It's not only among men, it's also in women. Just as in Africa, the crime of women is not that well pronounced. They don't even talk about it like that because the victims rarely speak up. Yes, the victim of criminality committed by women don't always speak up. That is the problem. So that is it for that. That is why in criminology, feminine criminality is not well developed. Moving away from this, let's have this one. Let's have this one. Popular Nigerian transgender Fola Francis drowns in Lagos Beach. This is coming from Daily Post. All right, let's have this one. Let's have this. Let's have this one. Having children is selfish. I would rather travel and eat than being a mother. Lady, viewers, what do you think about this news update? What do you think? What do you think about this update? Where it stated thus, having children is selfish. I would rather travel and eat than being a mother. This is coming from a lady. What do you think? Well, there's freedom of choice. There's freedom of choice. People should be allowed to make their choice. I love the fact that she's outspoken. Yeah, she opened up about her choice. It's her choice. People should be allowed to. In fact, I respect her. If she's not chasing cloud, too. I know that here in Nigeria we'll have a lot of cloud chasers. This may even be an opposite of what she's doing. If you investigate this young lady, she's been crying to probably no na joke na joke. Yeah, but yes, in every joke there is truth underneath. I'm not trying to say that she's faking, but what I'm saying is that most Nigerians know how to chase clouds. They will say the opposite of what they are doing. So that is, I respect her choice if she will actually, keep on with the choice. All right, all right. Let's have this one. Let's have this one. Let's have this one. Fake pastors denying patients access to treatment. Yes, it is because of the mentality, the low mentality in Africa, that we are having this narrative every day. An African man, a full-fledged man, will be sick. Instead of going to a hospital for medical checkup, for diagnosis, he will run to a pastor. A pastor that probably read engineering, and due to joblessness in the society, due to unemployment in our society, he decides to, play fast one. Join the business of pulpit banditry. You will run to a person who knows nothing about health. And the funny thing is that most of these clergies, when they best hospitals in the world, some of them even have hospitals in their churches. And you as a person, instead of running to him to help you have a free medical service in his or her hospital church hospital, you will run to him and they will do some abracadabra. And sometimes people die on the cause of this low mentality. A lot of Nigerians have died. A lot of Africans have died. We've lost. There's high rate of mortality. There's high mortality rates because of our low mentality, because of superstitions. All right, let me leave these people because I've tried to educate Africans, but it seems they are not ready to get enlightened. Well, we keep trying our best. We keep trying our best. All right, moving away from this, let's have this report. Let's have this report again from Punch News. Look at another conundrum this person has to spew here. Look at this. Look at how they start. Look at how they start. These pulpit bandits. Look at what this one has to say. Ritual is biblical, Nigerian pastor tells congregation. That is how they promote superstition. That is how they promote false beliefs. That is how they promote the unthinkable. That is how they make people not to think critically. That is how they make people not to understand that that the people that mint money is central bank, that all your idea of money ritual nonsense is just nonsense. It's just low mentality. It's just gullibility. Yes, people, because of gullibility can make people commit a lot of crimes. People because of gullibility can go and kill people in the Gaza they want to get rich. But I've not seen a billionaire get rich by killing people and doing ritual. What they do is to hustle. Dangote, of his though, yeah, any politician has to also get in touch with, but that is how they do it in Africa. Most of these billionaires, that in fact their ritual is hard working. Their ritual is getting in touch with the politicians to get covered. So I've never seen a billionaire in Africa, in the world, that did not become a billionaire through hard work. Talk of Bill Gates, talk of Jeff Bezos, talk of Aliko Dangote, talk of Otedola, talk of Elon Musk, through hard working. All right, let's move away from this and have these updates. Let's move away from this and have these updates from my controversial friend. Okay? After attacking the body of Omenala, now you want us to respect the body of Christ. You are joking. You never see anything. Traditional religion activist Matthias Ezako dares Christians. After attacking the body of Omenala, now you want us to respect the body of Christ. You are joking. You never see anything. Traditional religion activist Matthias Ezako dares Christians. This is my controversial traditional religion activist. He is that particular guy that was arrested by the police. Because of such controversies, they went and arrested him. But he's saying the truth. Peace should be mutual. Peace should be reciprocal. Not when most of your preachings tend to insult other people's philosophy of life. When they fire back at you, you begin to call for peace. If you want peace, delete some of the things you preach. It's even in your holy books. You wrote in your holy book that those who does not believe in your God are fools. Yes, if you go to the book of Psalms, we see this. That is only fools that say there is no God. And you know that there are some persons that have such idea of life. What if they fire back at you, you will want you want respect for body of Christ, whereas you are not respecting the body of the ideology. So let there be a mutual peace. If all the ideas of life, which I know, we can actually educate people to embrace critical thinking, but I'm saying it on TV, it will be difficult for you to, discard religion totally. It will be difficult. But the only way to go around this is for us to be circumspect in what we preach, in what we put up. Some of these things you call holy books are written by human beings. You can actually review it. You can actually use mild words that will not cause other people to react. Because there is this natural tendency in man to uphold, in humans, to uphold self-preservation, to uphold self-esteem. You cannot use your holy books, you cannot use your preachings to insult people and expect them not to insult back. So when they insult you back, you don't have to then run back and start playing the victims, whereas you are the aggressor. You go to church, you do your crusade and insult other people's philosophy of life. You insult them. Even in your books, in your holy books, they are there. You show your intolerance through your preachings. So when they react, when they pose a reprisal reaction to something, to what you are talking against them, what you are saying against them, you come out and play the victim, whereas you are the aggressor. So that is one thing we need to bring out from what Matthias Ezako is saying here. He said that if you want your philosophy, your religion to be respected, you need to respect other people's philosophy of life. We are all born special, equal and free. Nobody is more special than the other. Because you are a Christian does not make you special, more special than the other person. The other person is also important, so you should be circumspect in what you say. But if you insult another person, they insult you back. So you don't have to worry. After all, there is an eye for an eye in your Bible. But some of you will come here and tell me, yes, eye for an eye is in Old Testament, it's not in New Testament. As if your New Testament does not contain foul statements. Your New Testament also contains some statements that are gender biased. When you tell women not to preach in church, is that not gender bias? When you tell slaves, when you validate slavery, tell slaves to obey their earthly masters. Slavery, you are validating slavery. That is why religion has been used as a tool to validate slavery. I can remember it was the Catholic Pope that endorsed slavery and colonialism before the colonial masters, before the Portuguese and other colonial masters started trooping into Africa, into Nigeria. You can do your research if you think I'm faking it. All right, moving away from this, let's have this report. Let's have this report from experts. Yeah, this one is for men. It's very, very important. It's for men. That is why I decided to give this report. Expert warns that penile erection above 30 minutes is harmful to men. Men, will they hear them? Men, will they hear them? So you know, say that you are strong, and take something that will make your erection last for 1 hour. You are endangering your health. I don't know. that is why you have a lot of rapists, child defilers, everyone having sex, humping. That's a priority, humping. Oga, if yours is passing these 30 minutes, I would advise you to go for medical checkup. Maybe you are having hypersexuality. Go for meet a therapist to help you so that you don't go beyond it. So that you go last though. It's not if you cause trouble for yourself. What I've found out is that there are a lot of things we do and cause trouble for ourselves. And when we cause trouble for ourselves, we blame it on superstitions. If you do investigation, 100% of what is wrong with us, we caused it because of our recklessness. But man, we always have a way of looking for something to blame. People don't accept responsibilities for their actions anymore, especially when their actions is negative. Especially when their action is brings about negative results. They don't accept responsibility. They only accept responsibilities when they make first class. Yes, when you make first class, you accept responsibility. But when you fail because you've not been reading, or that you did not read the actual place that your lecturer wants you to read, or that your lecturer sets in exam, it becomes village people that made you fail. You look for something to blame. So human beings always look for something to blame when their action results in a negative vibe. But they accept responsibility when their action, brings about success and progress. We hate failures. Quite all right. But we should be honest enough to take responsibilities when our actions result in failures. That is what makes us great people. When we accept failure, it makes us, when we accept failures that are being brought, or failures that are being brought by our actions, it makes us better people. But when we look for something to blame, it makes us worse. That is why I respected someone like Thomas Edison. You failed 999 times, and he couldn't give up. But look at him today. That is why we are not progressing in Africa. When we fail, we look for something to blame. Or when we have negative vibes, we look for something to blame. There is one old woman in the village that is witch hunting us. That is the mentality that is making us not to progress. But when you fail, I know that there is something you did not get right that made you fail. And you stand to your feet and begin to work. You may even become a better person than some persons that are getting it smoothly. This is the reality of life. But we are not progressing because of that mentality. When you fail once, you start looking for one old woman in the village or your stepmother who is witch hunting you. From there, you go back and use these pulpit bandits to chase around, to be chasing innocent people. And these pulpit bandits understand your psychology. So when you begin to talk like that, they will know that you only lily. Yes, it's an Igbo word for gullible person. A gullible person, only lily. So that is it. We must take responsibilities. When we begin to take responsibility for our actions, whether they bring about negative or positive results, we become great. And some of these superstitions will be dispelled, because then you begin to understand that why I had accident is because there is either bad roads, or I am not well learned in road usage, or that I oversped, or that the other person that collided with me or that colluded with me was overspeeding. It is always, in fact, it is always our human error that puts us in trouble. It's also our human ingenuity that make us progress. So these are two things. These are two things that happens to us when you fail, or when something unfortunate happens to you. It is human actions, physical actions, so not the purported spiritual whatever. You know, we are good in concocting words. All right, moving away from this. Let's have this one. Let's have this one. Nigerian veteran actor Kanayo joins fight against witch hunt. Wow, this is a good news for critical thinking. In fact, I will conclude with this good news for free thinking in Africa, for free thinking in Nigeria. That Nanya sacrifice, the Lord of ritual movies, is coming out to join the fight against witch hunt. It is something that should educate you. It's something that should make people out there that are watching some of these home movies to understand that there are difference between fictions and reality. It is not only in Nigeria that we stare some of these superstitious or fictitious movies. We have them even in the Western world, even in the European world. Movies like Vampire. In fact, movies come with a lot of tricks everywhere. So that is to show you that Kanayo is not acting some of these movies they exist. He's just acting to entertain. He's just acting some of them to entertain. And there are salient points you may actually, he's not acting some of these movies to show that some of these things exist. They are acting to show you the virtue of hard working and patience is to to be celebrated. It's more important than seeking quick wealth. You know, quick wealth has made Africans to go into all forms of criminality. Like when you kill people in the name of fictional ritual, you've just committed murder because you are not patient. You are not patient and you are not hardworking. You know, what you call good luck, is, I call hard work. Whenever you talk about luck or good luck and all this, and you see it as a miracle or supernatural stuff, I disagree with you, because it's where opportunity, where your hard work meets opportunity. Your hard work meets opportunity. That is good luck. All right. Thank you so much for being with us today. It has been a long time with you today. It's a special edition. That is why it's almost an hour. No, it's already an hour, because I appreciate this edition of this Fly Review with Obasi Ikechukwu. Let us know your comments. Let us know your comment on the headlines today. Thank you for always being with us on Humanist TV Africa. Do well to share, comment, and even subscribe, so that you can always learn the good lesson that critical thinking is a culture to embrace, that it is good to dispel superstition so that we can excel in Africa, in the world. Thank you for being with us. Do have a nice day. I still remain your one and only Obasi Ikechukwu. Thank you. One love.